Hello, everybody. I don't have much time. I've like 10 or 20 minutes or something, but I made a frequency shifter thing, and I'm very excited to get it out to all of you. But the first thing to know is that it is not a pitch shifter. This is a pitch shifter, which I also made. And if I take a triangle wave, it doesn't sound like a triangle wave because this is a granular pitch shifter, and that just doesn't sound great with waveforms like these unless you tweak it a lot, which I mean, I guess you could and it'd start sounding fine, but I don't have time to do that. Oh my goodness. Triangle wave. It is pitch shifting the triangle wave, right? And then if we take this frequency shifter, sounds way cleaner, but it is definitely, it's clearly not just pitch shifting, it's doing something else to the overtones. Wow, you cannot see them in there. Hold on. Spectrum analyzer. This is absolutely a scuffed video, and I apologize, but I am working on a certain thing for like 16 hours a day, and I don't have time. But there we go. Thank you, H-S person who made this plugin. There's a car alarm going off outside. I hope you can't hear that. I can hear it, and now it's distracting me. Spectrum. Oh my gosh, the car alarm won't stop. But you can. Okay, it stopped. Yay! You can see that going up and down from the pitch shifting. With the frequency shifting, you can see it's kind of bending around, and that's because the spectrum analyzer is on a scale of pitch. See, this absolutely tiny portion is 10,000 hertz, while this portion of basically the same size is only 10 hertz. It's on a logarithmic scale. Would logarithmic be the right word? It's not an exponential scale. It's another, yeah, words and such. Right. So the frequency shifter, it shifts things by hertz. This is the number of hertz you are shifting it by. So this tiny space is 10 hertz. 10 hertz up here would be like a pixel or less than a pixel. So this shifts things by hertz. So harmonic relationships are no longer preserved. If you have two tones that are an octave apart, say 100 hertz and 200 hertz, and you shift them upwards by 50 hertz, then you'd get 150 and 250 hertz, which are no longer an octave apart. So as a result, you get something completely inharmonic. A song, a music. Can I get to the, hold on, Okay, and I need to remember, you can't hear me talking while this is playing. I don't like having one of those fancy setups where it ducks the volume or anything, but sounds, and you take the frequency shifter and stuff. And you might be questioning what this is useful for. Well, first I would like to introduce you to the anti-reflect feature that I put together. So a quick, like 30-second math speed run, except it's going to be longer than that. There's a, so audio signals are real signals, which means they are uh, they so they have how do I explain this without taking a trillion years? Every signal has positive and negative frequencies. A real signal, which is what you're used to interacting with, is I'm going to get something wrong and I'm going to be embarrassed. I think it's symmetric. Yes, it's symmetric. So if you have like a 100 hertz sine wave, it's actually at both 100 hertz and negative 100 hertz, I think. So that's because it's like a real signal. Imaginary number stuff that kind of gets involved here. You can have an analytic signal in which case the positive and negative frequencies don't have to be the same. And you can use that. For example, you can use something called a Hilbert transform to. I can't edit Subway Surfers onto the screen. I'm so sorry, but you can use that to remove all negative frequencies and only leave the positive ones behind. So basically what happens is the frequency shifter does a bunch of cool magic stuff with ring modulation, because ring modulation, it shifts the frequency of something both upward and downward, and using a Hilbert transform to get rid of negative frequencies, you can make it so that you preserve only one of those two shifting directions from ring modulation. Anyway, since the Hilbert transform removes negative frequencies, what we can do is use a second Hilbert transform, which is what this does, in order to remove negative frequencies after the frequency shift. While keeping it as an analytic signal. So a lot of the frequencies that are shifted downward end up being negative frequencies, and then that second Hilbert transform can remove those. Anyway, you have sound here, right? Where are we? And if we shift it downward, you hear that these lower frequencies shift below zero, but then bounce back upward, right? And that's very, very annoying. Yeah, so the sub bass, what was previously the sub bass, is now up here. So if I set this to 500, you'll notice that it's just barely above there because the sub bass was normally around here. Right, that's not pleasant. But using that second Hilbert transform, we can get rid of those negative frequencies from the downward shifting. And then, why isn't this working? Oh, that's upward. Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. What I meant to type earlier was negative 500. There we go. And it's actually, sorry, slightly below 500 because it's a bit above here. Right, I apologize. I can't edit this video. It would take too much time. But it's there, right? If we turn this on, it's so clean! Oh, that garbage isn't there anymore. And I can already think of so many potential applications for this, and we've really only looked at 2 controls so far. But yeah, frequency shifter, very, very cool. Stuff can be done with it. Anyway, I don't know why I started with that. I should have started with the most impressive thing. Here's what you're probably going to usually be using this thing for. Okay, so mix knobs at 100%. If we set it to 50, you'll hear it's filtered. And if I turn this up to just 1 hertz, so it's mixing the signal with a copy of the signal that shifted upward by 1 hertz. Look at those. It's like a phaser crossed with the Shepard tone. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. Shepard, Shepherd. I don't, because it's like Shepherd, but it doesn't have the second H in it. Is it Shepherd or Shepard? I don't know. Uh, you can do so much fun stuff with that. And then if you use feedback, in fact, you can keep the mix at 100% and just use feedback. And yeah, and if you enable anti-reflect, due to the second Hilbert transform, it adds some extra group delay, so it ends up making it sound different. And then you can use spread, so there's a different amount in each ear, different frequency shifting amount. Yeah, so now it's that makes it stereo. And I also added this phase knob, so you can manually control the phase of the frequency shifter's internal oscillators. Which is obviously very useful for automation and such. And LMMS's automation and modulation quality is garbage, to be blunt. So I added this glide control, which interpolates it for you, so you won't get any of the stair-steppy motion of low-quality automation and modulation. It'll be 100% clean, even if you attach a peak controller to this, which we can do right now. Hopefully that doesn't take too much time. How much time do I have left? Like 0 seconds or so. Okay. Let's see if we start it from there. That's up to 5. And I should be able to control that. Okay, so you can't see it moving because my computer's lagging because Qt is fantastic. But this is now being controlled with the volume. If I close this, you'll see it. Yeah, super, super cool. And alongside this, you can kind of get a phaser flanger hybrid because I added this delay here, which lets you control the length of the delay. So you can get a comb filter, which still has the filtering from the frequency shifting process inside of it. So it's cool. Yeah, and there's a damping control, so you can low pass the contents. There's an alarm. Go away. So you can low pass the stuff in the delay line, and that'll low pass it every single time it runs back through the delay line, which is cool for reverby effects and such that I don't really have time to show. By the way, there's a manual here, so if you ever need help, you can. Oh, by the way, shout out to Halion. I hope that's how it's pronounced. Who made this display, this GUI, right? And there's a manual here, which can help. Also, there's another glide parameter for the delay, so it'll smooth this out for you, super clean for automation. There's also an LFO here, which can go all the way up to, ignore the inaccurate label. My copy of this is out of date from the one in LMMS right now. but LFO, which allows audio rate modulation. So it's like frequency modulation, but as an effect, which hopefully doesn't sound too bad in this context. I don't really know what it'll sound like here. It sounds goofy. There's that. Oh, the harmonics knob. This is very cool. It's my own idea. It's very simple. The frequency shifter has two internal sine. Well, it has a sine oscillator and a cosine oscillator, which is, and it uses that to get its frequency shifting in ways that I don't have time to explain. And I thought, what if we just distort those? They aren't meant to be distorted, but this does that. It kind of makes them closer to square waves. If you just hear it with normal frequency shifting, it sounds like a mess, which might be useful, but yeah. But if you do it with the barber pole phaser, it will change the shape of how it moves, which is very cool. Yeah, and if the high frequencies are too much, you can use this tone knob, which is just a super gentle one pole low pass filter. So it'll kind of calm down the high frequencies, which is nice. And then there's the ring mod, which turns it into ring modulation. This stuff, I don't have time. Read the manual for those. They're kind of boring, but also useful in a lot of cases. At the end, frequency shifter. One of my favorite ways to use it is in like a multiband context where I preserve the low frequencies and then shift the higher frequencies. So you can get metallic sounds, but then still have a decent bass line going. I don't have time to really set that up here, but like I don't know what else to do. It's just it's cool. You'll get the point. You can go play with it. It's a free plugin. It's not like I have to advertise it to you, right? You just get LMMS and then you type in the thing and then you get the thing and then you use the thing and then yeah, okay. Go have fun. I'm going to get back to work on the stuff and all that. Have a good life and video outro stuff. Goodbye. Goodbye. Click the button, please. Click the stop recording button. Why can't I click the stop recording button? Why is ending videos so difficult? Okay. Jump up. I don't have enough water and I need to drink more so I don't die. I'm sorry. Bye.